Hello traders, and welcome to another exciting edition of our weekly XAUSD and GBPUSD trade analysis. Okay, so I'm excited to be here with you as we dive into the dynamic world of forex trading. So in today's video, we'll be dissecting the price action for XAUSD and GBPUSD, identifying key and potential levels on the charts, and discussing potential strategies for the week ahead.
Welcome back to another episode of our weekly forecast with Chinex FX. So as you can see on my screen is the pair GBP USD. Remember, we always do a weekly top-down analysis of two pairs, which are GBP USD and XAUSD, so as to just get clearer view on zones that we need to be paying close attention to for the coming weeks, guys. So right here on my screen is GBP USD. If you followed us for our last week forecast, you will discover that we were expecting GBP USD to come down to retest this resistance zone right here, or possibly break out of it to continue downward, of which price did just as we expected. So for the coming week, guys, on GBP USD, as you can see, price has broken out of a resistance zone that we're expecting price to turn this zone into a support by just retesting it and then continuing upward. Due to the high impact news which occurred last week, price broke out of this zone, and then decided to continue downward. So for the coming week, guys, since price has broken below this resistance zone, which has been holding for a while, so we'll be expecting price to continue downward to respect this support zone right here. We're expecting a continuation to the downside for price to come back to respect this support zone before there is any movement upward. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward from where it is, we're expecting price to break above this resistance zone right here and then continue to the next resistance zone just above, guys. So quickly we move over to the 4 hours time frame so we can get clearer view of these zones that have been marked out on the daily time frame. Alright guys, so this is the 4 hours time frame on GBP USD. As you can see, the zones that are marked out are still very clear. This is the recent resistance zone that price has made, that was marked out on the daily time frame, and which is still very visible on the 4 hours time frame, guys. So for next week, we'll be expecting, since GBP USD is already in the downtrend, we'll be expecting price to continue downward to respect this support zone. This is a very valid support zone that has been holding for a while. We'll be expecting price to continue downward to respect this support zone before there is any movement upward. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward from where it is, if price decides to continue upward from where it is, we'll be expecting price to move upward, to break above this resistance zone, respect it or break out of it to the next resistance zone just above, guys. So I'll still move over to the 1 hour time frame so we can see some visible zones and clear zones that we need to be paying close attention to. Alright guys, so this is the 1 hour time frame on GBP USD. As you can see, this is the 1 hour time frame. Price is still around the zone that we marked out on the higher time frame, but just at the 1 hour time frame is still very visible. As you can see, it's more visible right here. So for next week on the 1 hour time frame, for GBP USD, we're expecting price to continue downward from where it is, since price is already on the downtrend, to either respect this support zone or possibly break out of it to the next support zone just below. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue upward from where it is, we'll be expecting price to continue move upward to respect this resistance zone or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above. So generally for GBP USD on the top down analysis, we'll be expecting a continuation to the downside, since price is already on a downtrend, to respect this support zone right here, or possibly break out of it to the next support zone just below. But on the flip side, we'll be expecting price to continue upward to respect this high right here, this resistance right here, or possibly break out of it to the next resistance zone just above, guys. So quickly we'll move over to XAUSD so that we can also do a top-down analysis and get, pick out some zones that we need to be paying close attention to for the coming weekend. Welcome back. So right here on my screen is XAUSD on the daily time frame. So we're going to be doing the top down analysis just like we did on GBP USD, guys. If you followed us for our last week focus on XAUSD, you will remember that we were expecting price to move downward, to break out of this resistance zone and to respect this support zone before continuing upward, of which price did exactly what we were expecting. So for next week, guys, we are expecting, if price decides to continue downward, we are expecting price to come down to respect this resistance zone, thereby turning it into a support before continuing to the upside. Right? So on the flip side, we are expecting price to break out of this resistance zone, this previous resistance zone, give us a confirmation before continuing to the upside, guys. So quickly we'll move over to the 4 hours time frame so we can get a clearer view of the zones. So on the 4 hours time frame for GBP USD, we'll be expecting some continuations to the upside by price breaking out of this high right here, then giving us a confirmation of any sort before continuing upward. But on the flip side, if price decides to continue downward from where it is, we'll be expecting price to continue downward to respect this support zone right here. So quickly we will still move over to the 1 hour time frame so we can get clearer pictures of these zones we've marked out, guys. Alright, so this is the 1 hour time frame on XAUSD, guys. As you can see, which the zones we marked out are still very clear and visible. So right here on the 1 hour time frame for XAUSD, price decides to continue upward, we'll be expecting price to move upward to break out of this high right here, then give us a confirmation before continuing to the upside. But on the flip side, if price decides to break below, that is to continue downward, we'll be expecting price to continue downward to respect this support zone right here, or possibly break out of it to the next support zone, which is right here, before there is any continuation to the upside, guys. So generally on XAUSD for the coming week, we'll be expecting some continuation to the upside. We're expecting price that movement to the upside, for price to break above this high right here, give us a confirmation of any sort before continuing upward. But on the flip side, if price decides to move downward from where it is, we'll be expecting price to respect this support zone, or if price breaks out of this support zone, we'll be expecting price to respect the support zone just below that before continuing to the upside, guys. So that will be all for the forecast for this week. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe, and also turn on the notification for our weekly forecast videos so as to get notified on whenever we post the forecast. And also join our Telegram channel. The link will be dropped on the description of the video below, so you can gain access to all our premium services, of which we offer at Chinex FX. I'll see you next week, same time, same channel, GMGM, guys.